whole bunch of whatever that note was. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BASSmint. That's BASSmint.
That's right.
And we hanging out with another Detroit bass player. Tell us your name, sir.
I go by the name of Chevy. Like I said prior, it's similar to the whole Prince thing, but just Chevy.
Yeah, but what's your name, though?
I am Cheyenne Chevy DeLORENZO, all the way out here from New York, Long Island, Strong Island, 631, 516, all that good stuff.
And we're going to get into that in just a second. We're going to acknowledge some of the other panel here. You know, we're in the basement with none other than Mr. Reginald Canty's house.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the
welcome to the basement.
Yeah, you here all the time. Excuse me. But thank you, man, for letting us use this this joint to do these things.
No problem. Just put your quarters in the cup.
Put the quarters in the cup, folks. He's taking donations. Also hanging out with us, for those who don't know, this is a legendary Detroit bass player now residing in Florida. Tell us your name, sir.
My name is Eddie Watkins Jr.
Eddie Watkins Jr. in the basement. We're going to be doing an interview with him, too. So make sure you tune and scan and surf on Detroit Bass Players on YouTube to find the interview with him. Yep, surf it out. Yeah. Also hanging out with in the basement is
Marlito Watkins.
And that would be Eddie's sister, right?
His sister.
Yes.
Yeah, see, now you say Watkins, and you know how people, they be in assume.
Oh, that's just right.
Exactly. Also hanging out in the basement with us, there's a tall fella there. He got a duck because he's so tall. Tell us your name, sir.
T-Wash, Terry Washington.
All Detroit bass players in the house. And also, we got in the basement with us.
Hi, Lisa DeLORENZO.
Again, not the wife of the guy we interviewing, but what's your relationship to it?
Chevy's my nephew.
Okay, and do you play bass?
No.
Any instrument?
Nope.
Okay, but
I was not the gifted music.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have
individual.
gifts like us all. How about you, sis? You play any instruments?
No, but
You
I
don't?
sing.
But that's an instrument. The voice is a powerful instrument. And we're gonna do an interview with, like I mentioned, acknowledge you as a Detroit bass player, and you flipped it to New York. You went what 800 miles away to New York.
Cat's out of the bag now, right?
But where do you currently reside?
I currently reside in Hazel Park.
Hazel Park, Michigan, or Hazel Park, New York?
Hazel Park, Michigan.
Well, then you a Detroit bass player, brother. Right. As soon as you saw that sign say "Welcome to Michigan," you became a Detroit bass player.
You're 313-248.
And I got a lot of questions for this brother. Me and him have some prior connections before coming in the basement. But first question I like to ask you is, when did you start playing the bass and why?
I started playing the bass probably when I was probably around 13-ish. Bass was not my first instrument. When I started playing, my first two instruments were violin and clarinet. Mm-hmm. And a couple of months into playing violin, my string teacher, shout out to Miss Carol Vaccarello back home. Last name is no longer Vaccarello. She's married. I don't know her last name, but I will find you and make sure that you see this. Changed my life forever. And she said to me, I think I have an instrument that is a little bit more your size. And she handed me an upright. And within maybe 25 minutes, I think I was playing a D major scale on the upright. And I stuck with it ever since. I started playing electric bass a little bit in like the 7th grade, wasn't that serious about it. Was told that there was no potential possible future and that I should pursue my upright bass. So I pursued that all the way up through college. Attended the 2007-2008 All-State New York School of Music Association's All-State Conference, which would rank me probably about, since I was in the middle of the bass section, number 7 in my age group. 7th best bass player in New York State, with almost no practice. Not trying to rub that in. I regret that now.
That's why you were 7th.
Right, exactly. But you know, hey, 7 out of 14 out of 20 ain't bad. So
No, it's not bad at all.
So then, you know, I didn't really start picking up my electric bass until I decided to leave my first year of college, where, you know, I was going to Potsdam, which is Crane School of Music. It's a pretty big music conservatory in New York. And I was dual majoring in music performance and music business. And in my music business class, you know, my teacher literally, you know, she opened up the class with, raise your hand if you had ever been paid to play your instrument before for any reason at all. And you know, 3/4 of the class raised their hand, and she looked at all of us and went, you know, congratulations, you guys are professional musicians. She goes, you know, it's as easy as that. So upon that, I was like, well, there's no reason for me to pay you guys $12 grand a year, and I'm already doing what I kind of am setting out to do. And I had just come off a tour the summer prior to that, a classical music tour with the Long Island Youth Orchestra, where we hit 5 countries in a month: Greece, Bulgaria, Ukraine, Turkey, and Georgia Republic. And that was a crazy experience. But that was, I realized that it wasn't, the upright bass was fun. I loved it. It was my roots on the bass, but it wasn't what I really enjoyed doing. And towards the end of my freshman year, I started, I got together with an African band. It was a strictly West African band where we used all West African drums and percussion instruments, and added classical guitar and electric bass into that mix.
Electric bass, so that's when you started hitting.
Yeah, that's when I picked it up again and really started to find out, like, oh hey, writing my own bass lines is cool. This instrument is, you know, way more fun, you know, to play. And
easier to carry around.
Way easier to carry around. And you know, that's when I decided that this is mostly what I wanted to play. From that point on.
That's awesome. You know, I got questions. In fact, I'll just ask you the questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, a violin is tuned
backwards of the bass.
Like he's a left-hander. He played.
It ain't coming from the left. Right. That's
No, I'm just saying the way your string set is like a violin is tuned, which is G,
correct.
D, A, E. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Low G, middle A, higher D, and a higher E.
Yep. Right.
Which is exactly the opposite of a bass guitar. So, or an inversion of what the bass guitar is, which is those are fifths, but bass is in fourths, and if you play a fourth inverted, it's a fifth, right?
Yep.
So
musical math.
So how was that transition from the violin, which is tuned in fifths, to the upright, which is tuned in fourths? How was that transition?
That transition, surprisingly, was way easier than I guess anybody could have anticipated. But at that time, though, I was also very young, so the kind of science behind that and my sponge ability of being young was enabled me to pick it up very, very quickly.
And folks, we ain't trying to get too technical on you, but I love this kind of stuff, man, myself personally. So to get back on track, so you started playing with the West African band, doing West African music and stuff.
Oh yeah, that was probably some of the.
What kind of music did you grow up listening to?
I grew up listening to a lot of Frank Sinatra and big band music, actually.
Okay, the classic. So the transition again. Now your transitions is like crazy.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Yeah, so going from classical and this is your stuff, Frank Sinatra and all those guys. You digging on this,
right? And
now you going balo.
Yeah.
Or you going to African music right off the rip? How was that transition for you?
It was technically very challenging. You know, but it also brought my musicianship to a different level. Because within the band we had what we would call breaks, and there's certain musical licks that depict when you're going to change parts. You know, so you'll be playing your A section, and then you know, the balafon, which is a African xylophone with gourds underneath it. He'll play a certain lick, and you just have to listen for it, and that means, okay, we're moving on, and then you switch. And then, so aside from, it got the overall group mentality very, brought us together very well, because we all have to listen to each other. And also, the tempos in West African music are ridiculous. They start out very slow. Not all songs, but most of them start out slow, and then they gradually over time pick up the pace. And,
so no click track.
No. If you're not locked in, if you're not in that pocket, it tears everything else apart.
What you been up to since you started, when you first started getting on that electric bass guitar? What you been doing, bro?
That list is so, you know, my transitions again are so wild. I started getting into a lot of hip hop. I started really discovering my love for hip hop, which is also the reason why I have my headband on, representing the Universal Zulu Nation. If you guys don't know about that, you got to take your own private time and go learn about
those New York guys, starting with was it African Bambaataa, the Tribe Called Quest?
Yeah, all those cats. Yeah, pretty much some of the true pioneers of hip hop.
Yeah.
And you can hear Q-Tip reference a lot of, you know, he drops a lot of Zulu Nation references. He uses the word Aki a lot, which is the Zulu term for brother.
Okay.
So, you know, all my brothers in my
De La Soul is another one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm up on them.
So I started getting into a lot of hip hop, and then, you know, I just kept listening, man. I was all over the place, from reggae to blues. You know, once I got into college, it opened up my mind a lot to just a whole bunch of different genres and what was out there. And I was like, man, this stuff is fantastic, you know. So I started doing a lot of that. I did a lot of rock projects, a lot of rock fusion projects where it's a cross between rock and hip hop with funk in there. All different types of stuff. That stuff goes all over the place.
Drop some band names in case we want to Google and
oh man, okay, so the two bands that I'm currently still working with back in New York are Hollywood Drive-By. That's the rock, rap, funk fusion band that I have. And another band, which is my hip-hop band, called ADD, which stands for Always Determined and Dedicated. And we're trying to bring back that, like, Tribe Called Quest and the Roots type style, where it's all live instrumentation behind the hip hop, and just people react better to that. You know, it seeps in to their soul a little bit. You know, when you have that live drum and bass, it just kind of catches people. You know, and so those are the two projects back in New York that I'm steadily working with.
influences you or favorite bass players, and let me know which one is which. You know, from day one to the day.
Oh man, there has been an uncanny amount of stuff. My high school, Wall Women High School in New York, is and may still be one of the top 100 high schools as far as their music program is concerned. One of the top 100 in the country. So our music program brought in a lot of really cool cats, like Maynard Ferguson. Before he passed away, I got to see him play live. That was unbelievable. You know, one of the best trumpet players on the planet. You know, and I'm shaking hands with him, and I got to do a jazz band workshop with him. So that was unbelievable. And then they brought in probably the person that changed my life forever, Jimmy Haslip of the Yellow Jackets.
Left-handed bass player.
Yeah, he is outrageous. He is the first cat I'd ever heard that when he would improvise live, he was singing his improv. Everything that this cat was playing live, he was singing as he was playing it. And that boggled my mind at only 16. I was like, what is that? How is he doing that? So that opened up my eyes, and he is right now probably my favorite bass player of all time, over Victor Wooten and all those cats. You know, Jimmy Haslip just sits well with me. you know, a couple of the cats that everybody grows up listening to, like Flea, Les Claypool, Victor Wooten, Steve Bailey, who plays a lot with Victor Wooten, plays a 6-string actually, fretless. And then as far as upright, there's a cat out there by the name of Ben Allison, who I've discovered, and Edgar Meyer. It's probably one of the most, like, the biggest upright bass name of them all. And whew, that cat is mean.
He's a bit of a madman.
Oh yeah, definitely a madman. And shout out to my college professor John Geggy, who's really big in the jazz scene in Canada. He's another really cool cat, and another guy that kind of helped me find my way a little bit, you know. So with that being said, you know, a lot of influences, a lot of general influences that other people kind of check out. But as far as my favorite bass player of all time, I'd still say that Jimmy Haslip is right there.
Not a bad selection, bro. Not a bad selection at all.
Plus all the other, you know, all the jazz cats, Ron Carter, all those cats like that. Eddie Watkins Jr. But like I said again, just Jimmy Haslip, man. He's an unbelievable cat with an unbelievable talent and ear, and he's a hometown cat, like I said. So he's up there at the top. And actually, just to quote him real quick, and like I said, this is what changed my life. I've never been satisfied with my playing ability. I get surrounded by people that tell me that I'm, you know, that I do have some chops and I do have some skills, and it would always bother me because I'm like, I feel like I'm not getting anywhere at this music thing, this bass that's in my hands. And I found an interview that Jimmy did, and the cat was like, you know, are you happy with your playing right now? And he was like, no way. You know, he's like, I've been playing my instrument 40 years already, and I still feel like I'm nowhere close to where I want to be. He says, I figure I have at least maybe another 20 before I can say, okay, I'm happy with that. You know, and that really hit me because I was like, I don't have that much time on this instrument, so I guess I'm in a good spot for where I'm at right now, you know.
What kind of bass is that you playing right there?
This is a Ibanez BTB 5-string. It's a killer instrument. I get a lot of really good versatile sounds from it, and you know, the one thing that I really wanted, especially in the 5-string, is I wanted a as wide a neck as I could possibly find that was mainstream, and for the most part, this is really fulfilling that need. I have really massive hands, and I like to, you know, be able to get in between my strings and just be able to pull them. And
right. I actually play the Sound Gear 6, and the spread between the strings is a little bit closer together than the BTB 6. I forget the model number of the BTB 6-string, but they are a little bit further apart. And I see you got another bass over here, man. You gotta.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You gotta let me see what's going on with that right quick, man.
We'll take that bad boy out real quick. This here, custom bass, I had sent over here from Vietnam, and it didn't cost me that much. I won't tell you how much I got it for, because then you guys will be trying to break down my door to try to come get it. It is missing a string because I broke it before I came over here. Real quick, shout out to Sean May. If I don't find you by the time this video comes out, I need you to help me take a look at this thing so we could make a couple of modifications that I think you might enjoy, and just get it back to
Sean May of May Custom Basses.
Yeah, Sean May of May Custom Basses.
Another Detroit bass player, by the way.
Yes, sir.
Now, what's the interesting besides the body work there?
Oh man, so for the body work, you know, that's pretty loud as itself. It's got a hand painted, which by the way, it is hand painted, the body itself. I have skull and crossbone inlays that run up and down the fingerboard.
12 fret. All this is 24 fretter too, because it's three. I don't know if you can see it, but it's 3 skull and cross. Is that 3 at the? No, it's only
2 down
it's 2
here,
at the.
and one big one with wings right here
at the 12th fret.
At the 12, yeah. The one thing that's cool about the inlays is that all of them, except for the wings here on the 12th fret, glow under black light.
Oh yeah.
I realized that at a gig one night that had a black light there, and all of a sudden, I was getting blinded, and I'm like, what is that? And I look down, and my fingerboard is like lit up, out of control.
And folks, if you check out, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. If you check out the volume and pickup knobs.
Oh yeah, we've got all the pickup knobs and everything. Skull knobs, and we've got skull strap holders as well on there.
Skull strap holes. Wow.
Pretty decked out. It's a pretty nice, loud.
There's another one up there at the top.
Oh yeah, another one up here.
Let me see that one. Wow, somebody put some work in.
Yeah,
work into that
one. And I spent some time doing some work to the body myself.
Yeah, damaging or giving a character.
Giving it some character.
That's what I like to call it.
That's right. That's right. But it's a little bit of something different that you guys probably have not seen.
No, I haven't seen that one.
You know.
And that's the first time somebody ever broke out a string. I mean, a bass with a string missing.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome, bro.
We're keeping it classy.
Exactly.
Some.
That's awesome, man. I love that right there.
Maybe some water jug country style music or something out of that. You know, the washboard type style. You know.
And do we know what kind of bass this is?
What kind of specific bass? No, I do not. The make and model, I do not remember. It was purchased a couple of years ago. I might be able to do some research on it.
I bet somebody can watch this and tell us this is what kind of bass this is.
Yeah, hopefully. Like I said, it came all the way out here from Vietnam. And, you know, it's treated me very well. I bought it with the option of just being able to hang it up on the wall just in case it didn't sound that great. I got lucky and it did happen to sound pretty good. So, you know, it was my gig bass for certain gigs, depending on what it was, just because of how loud it was. And a lot of people like it. The crowd likes it as well.
That's
so
awesome.
That's pretty cool. A little something different in the basement, you know.
Okay. What's up for the future for you, Chevy?
In the future, you know, I'm unsure. You know, my life is kind of in a rebuilding status right now since I am out here in Michigan. You know, I do have my networks and stuff back home, and my plan is to cross-pollinate, you know, networks. Try to build up a solid network out here, and just have cats go back and forth.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, that was one of my questions. Is like, being a New Yorker. What brought you to the Motor City, man?
What brought me here is just having to provide for not only myself and my little mini family that I have, my girlfriend and my 2 kids, and just wanting to, you know, create a little bit of a better life for them, where I could afford to make a better life for them. Everything in New York is crazy expensive, and it just wasn't working out for me there. The gigs and my music was working out great, but everything outside of that was not so great. And I wanted to just try something different. You know, I've been in New York my whole life, and it was time to move out and make a little bit of a change. You know.
Okay, so you've been in Detroit since how long? How long you been living here?
I've been out here since the beginning of August. Unfortunately, I was not out here long enough to catch the Detroit Bass Day that just came and passed us this past August, or else I definitely would have been here for that. So I've only been out here a couple months, 2-3 months.
What you think so far?
I love
about the Motor City.
I love it, to be honest. I absolutely adore it. I think the people, from what I've experienced so far, the people are very cool out here. Being able to be a part of the Detroit bass players community, I think, is amazing, because this is something that we don't have in New York. You know, just I'm excited to start building things here and to start working more out here and finding some cats out here that really want to kick and you know, just get to playing a little bit, you know.
Right. Yeah. Well, again, welcome to Detroit, man. You know we got it going on, bass players. It's a whole lot of bass players, and but sometimes it ain't work. But I'm sure, you know, if you go network, you'll get in where you fit in with the right people and stuff like that. And again, for those people watching around the world, New York, wherever, Chicago, excuse me, not Chicago, but wherever you might be watching this at, man. You know, y'all got some information to get this cat about some gigs out here, some spots. Let us know what you know that's going on out here. So sometimes it be little clicks, you know what I'm saying, that you don't even know about, just looking for a bass player, man.
Yeah, send me anything. Send me cats that just need a fill-in for some fill-in work. I'm cool with that. Cats that really want to kick and try to build something. I'm okay with trying to build something. Just anybody that just wants to get together and play some music, I'm down for that too. You know, the more people I meet out here, the better.
Folks, if you want to get a hold of them, I need to let them know that you do have a Facebook page where they can reach you, right?
Yes, I do have a Facebook page. Again, it's Cheyenne CHEVY DeLORENZO.
On
As
Facebook.
well as you can find both my bands that I mentioned, both Hollywood Drive-By and ADD, both have their own Facebook pages as well. And my personal email, which is very simple, ChevDeLorenzo@gmail. So that's CHEV DeLorenzo@gmail.com.
All right. Well, man, I ain't want to keep you, but I did want to welcome you to give you a Detroit bass player's welcome to the Detroit and its surrounding cities. And again, anybody else, man, y'all come to the basement and hang out with us. Give us a call on Facebook. You can find me at Ivan Big Ive Williams on Facebook, and you can also find me, well, at least that's the way you contact me, or my YouTube, youtube.com/Ivan Williams, and holler at me and come and hang out with us anytime you're in Detroit. All you bass players, y'all swing through Detroit, holler at us, man. Let's go on hang out in the basement. If we can't hang out in the basement, we hang out wherever, man. But before we let you go, man, it was like anything that you like to say in closing.
You know what? Just Godspeed and bass. You know, Godspeed and bass. You know, just keep playing whenever you can, and just keep listening. That's probably my biggest advice to anybody that's playing any type of music, regardless of what instrument or vocal box that you have. Just keep listening. There's always more stuff out there for you to listen to and train your ear to start listening to and stuff like that, you know?
All right, man. With that said, I'd like to thank you for coming to the basement, but I can't let you go until you play us out, brother.
Sure.
Give us something, man.
Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, New York bass player, now Detroit bass player. We call him Chevy. He's gonna play us out. Play us out, Chevy.